for this moment, I just want you to just go through this paper, just download it on your PC and try to answer the paper. Then when you're done, I would want you to just follow through this revision and see maybe if you got your facts right or not, because I would want you to just use the information that I've given you before to see if you can solve this in this paper. If there is a part that you still feel like you're not yet comfortable with on the parts that I'm going to be revising here, please just update me so that we can actually tackle that part here. So number one, I'm assuming that you're done now to answer the paper and now you want to do the revision. I'm just going to be going through it with as simple as that. Number one is saying that we are supposed to, a program is being developed to help manage the membership of a football club. Complete the following identifier table. We have this part, this name Wong, the preferred name for the member joining the club. What is the variable name? We can say that the member name. You can just say member name. Just make sure that they are supposed to be one word. You're supposed to be writing this as one word, member name, and this is a type of a string here. That's going to be a string. Then fours, of course, that's a boolean, right? Then they're saying here a value to indicate whether an existing member of the club lives at the same address. So if they're living at the same address, we are just mentioning that maybe there is a relative, right, who is part of the club already. So if the relative is if the person who's joining is a relative, we're going to be turning the part of the relative to true. But if he's not staying, nobody stays at the same address, then that's going to be false. That's going to be the variable name that I could use. Date of this, when the member joined the football club. So it's a date of join. We can say date of join, and that's going to be a date. Then we have the number of points the number of points a member has earned. Members earn different points. Okay, so we can just say points, and we'll say that this is an integer. That's basically what we will be expecting. I don't know if there is any question. If you have any question, then you can just touch base with me and we'll see how we can solve it. That's pretty much what I would have said on this. Then moving on to number 2, to the B part, I guess. The B part is talking about this, and we are saying that describe the error in each of the cases. Describe the error in each of the cases. Then write no error if there is no error that is actually seen there. That's beautiful. Then you're supposed to be using the pseudocode. The what's this? It's supposed to be used in the appendix for this. Then end. I'm pretty sure that this is a concatenator. It joins 2 strings. If you check with the insert, it's supposed to be joining 2 strings, of which 2 and 4 are not strings. So end can only join 2 strings. So I can just write this in error because 2 and 4 are not strings, right? So that's why we are saying that this is an error. Then here we're being told that that's mid, starting from position number 4. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, starting from position number 4 here, and we want only one character, which is only U. So substring is going to be containing U. There is no error on this one. It's going to be correct. Then if x is equal to 3 or 4, then this part or works with booleans. This is going to be giving us either true or false, but this is not giving us any true or false. So we're going to be saying that 4 is not a boolean operation. Is not a boolean operation. So definitely we're not going to be this is going to be coming through to be an error. This is going to be giving us true or false because it's a comparison thingy. But 4 alone is not comparing anything, so that's going to be coming through to be an error. So yeah, that's basically how this was going to be an error. and we're being told the result is equals to status and int of this. So status here is a variable, so we don't know what status is holding, so we are going to assume that status is going to be holding maybe true or false, so we cannot say that this is an error as far as status is concerned. But and now works with true or false. It's supposed to be between true or false values. So status can be true or false, but int x divided by 2 will never give us a true or false. This will give us an integer. So when you say there's going to be an error, int x or over 2 will not give a boolean. That's the error that's going to be coming through there, and I hope that is making sense. Then the last part, now we are saying that message is also done plus. Plus is used only when you want to add numbers. You add numbers with with this plus. It's supposed to be adding numbers, and with that now, done is a string because it's already in quotes. If done was maybe not in quotes, we would assume that done is a variable that is containing something that is numerical. Then that's going to be coming through to be correct. Length of my string is going to be giving us the number of characters that are in length. So this is going to be giving us definitely a number, but done is not a number. So that's going to be the problem. So we are saying that done is not a number. That's going to be the error that's going to be coming through to this. Otherwise, that's basically what's up in actual fact. So I hope you got that correct. All right, I'll clear this, then I'll move on to the next question. Then the following data items need to be stored for each student in a group, right? Then they're saying that we have student name, which is a string, then test score, which is an integer. We are saying that state the suitable data structure that can be used for this. We can use okay, this is going to be coming through to be a string, this is going to be coming through to be an integer, so we cannot use a 2D array. Why? Because we have two different data structures, but if they were both integers or if they were both strings, then we could use 2D array. But because we don't have we have two different data types, we cannot use a 2D array, but rather we can use two 1D arrays. That will make sense. Two 1D arrays, that would make sense, since one containing the strings and the other with integers. And we are saying that we can have index positions relating to index position number 1 is going to be containing the student number 1 and their test score again sitting again on position number 1. So we could use my 1D arrays, two my 1D arrays, not a 2D array. And we could also use a record here. A record, why? Because a record can allow us to have different data types. All right. That's pretty much the justification that I could have said, and these are the two things that I could have said. And you can actually still check with the max scheme. You can still check with the max scheme to see how they're actually giving us their answers, which can actually still be okay with me. But this is what I would say at first the end. Okay, let's move on to the next part. We are being told that there are 4 programs. I think this one I once did it, but rather I was just redo it. We're being told that there are 4 program modules that are part of a program library, and we are saying that the description of the relationship between the modules is summarized as follows. We have update loan, which calls either these two guys. As they have already mentioned that here it calls either, which means that this is a big guy who is supposed to be containing a rhombus. I mean to say, supposed to be having a rhombus for options there. Then loan extend, it's called with parameters loan ID, and this which calls check reserve, which means this guy is calling somebody to see whether the book has been reserved for another library user. Then returns true if the loan has been extended. Otherwise, it returns false. We're still talking about loan extend. Okay. Then we have the part on check reserve. It's called with parameter book ID. Returns true if the book has been reserved. Otherwise, it returns false. Okay. Then loan return. It's called with parameters loan ID and book ID. It returns a real number, which is the value of the fine to be paid in the case of an overdue. That's okay. So, I'll clear all this and I'll try to reduce this like this. So we're being told that module update loan. I'll put that here. Update loan. There is update loan. The update loan is calling either, so which means if it's making an option here, so I'll put a rhombus like that, so it means it's calling either. Okay, it's calling either of these guys. Loan extend, and or check reserve here. No, it's not calling check reserve. This is the one that is calling check reserve, because it's calling check reserve. So I might not need to put that. So it's going to be calling check reserve like this. So we're being told that or this one is calling either loan extend or loan return. Okay, like this. So we're being told that it's called with parameters loan ID and book ID. So to call this guy, we need two things. We need the loan ID, and we also need the book ID. Then we are saying that check reserve, it returns true if the loan has been extended, which means those that are a boolean. We just shared this and I say that it returns something like this, pretty much for this guy. This guy is done, this guy is done. Then check reserve is called with parameter book ID, which means the book ID that we took there, we're going to be calling this. So we're going to be calling book ID like this. Then it returns true or false if the book has been returned, otherwise this means it returns a boolean. So it means it's going to be giving a boolean back to this guy. Then this part is done. Then code with parameter loan ID and book ID. Loan ID or book ID. So I'm going to be saying loan ID there. And book ID, which means in book ID like this. And they are saying that it returns a real, which means it returns a real like this. I'm not told of its variable name, so I'm going to be saying it like this. So this is my conclusion. And my key parts that you're supposed to be mastering are this. Number one, we're told that it's code with either, which means I need to see this. They told us that here we are calling with two parameters, so I need to see this. We're being told that it returns true or false, it returns a boolean, I need to see this. Then this guy again is calling check reserve, so I need to see this being called by this guy. Then here they're telling us about the part of book ID being used again, so book ID being used there and returning again true or false. I need to see this part. Then here we're calling with two parameters. I need to see them going down there. It's returning a real. I need to see this guy coming here. Even if you put the part of mentioning that this is a real, it was still gonna be okay. But those are the key parts that you're supposed to be putting in order there, and I hope you were able to grasp that. That is it. Then let me just do my maybe last question also. Let me see. Then the last part is now saying that the definition of the loan return is amended. The definition of loan return is amended as follows. Okay, loan ID is now called with parameter loan ID, book ID, and fine. The module code checks whether the book has been returned on time and then assigns a new value to fine, which means fine is being updated in the module, right? So if I was going to be drawing this, I would say now loan return. Let me see, where was loan return? Okay, loan return is the one that was being called on the left side. So it was more like this. It was gonna be on the right side. I mean to say it was gonna be like this. Loan return like this. So we're being told that there is loan ID, book ID, and fine. So loan ID, this is loan ID, book ID, book ID. They are saying that in fine, but fine is being updated here. Are you seeing that? It checks whether it assigns a new value to fine. If fine is being updated, it means that's going to be coming through to be called by reference. So I would put it like this. Then I'll put fine like this because it's being updated as it goes in there. Yeah. So what's happening now here is the part that we are now going to go ahead and do what? We're now going to go ahead and have this is how we're supposed to be having it written like. Yeah, this is how we're supposed to be having it written like. If it was going to be put on a chart, this part, it shows that the value is being updated or recorded by reference. Value being updated, right? Being updated, or we're talking about the value being updated, or we're talking about the value being called by reference. It's called by ref. That's basically what we have. So here, that's what you're talking about. We're saying that loan ID and book ID are going to be strings, and fine is going to be a real. So this is a procedure. Why? Because it's not returning anything, right? Apana pattern bonds also is going to be returning something. So it's a procedure like this. It's a procedure that is called what? That is called loan ID. That is called loan return. Loan return. This dude takes in some parameters. It takes in the first parameter is loan ID. Loan ID, and it also takes again book ID. Book ID. And these guys are gonna be coming through as strings. Since these guys are coming through as again, they're coming through by value. So I can just leave it like this. I could have just mentioned by value loan ID, by value book ID, strings like this. But since they're by default, if I just leave them like this, it means that they're coming in by value. But I need to mention something now that is specific on fine. I need to mention that fine is going to be coming through by reference. Then I write fine like this, which is going to be coming through as a fine is going to be coming through as a real like this. That's how I was supposed to be putting through. This was the key part, to make sure that you mention that fine is going to be called by reference. And if you're calling something by reference, it means that it's going to be updated inside the module. That's basically what it means. So this was supposed to be the correct way out. I hope that all made sense. Let me see, maybe I can do this one. This one is to close it up. Okay, let me just this one. We're being told that input 50 unique integers. We're being told to input 50 unique integers. 50 unique integer values. Output the largest value, output the average of the numbers excluding the largest number, which means we're going to be outputting the largest having here divided by 49. So we are saying that draw a program flowchart to represent the algorithm. Variable declarations are not required. It is not necessary again for you to check if the number is unique or not. Yeah, but it's not important to check if the numbers are actually unique or not. So we can start it up by taking our 50 numbers. So we need to make sure that we have the largest. We need to make sure that we have also the average and we need to count that we have taken 50 numbers, right? So I will start my program. Hopefully I'll be able to fit it all here. Then I'll input the first number and I'll just call that the largest as I input it. And for me to do all that, I need to also be keeping a running total, yeah? So I'll input a number like this. The number that I will input, I'll just call it the largest initially. So the first number that I have taken, I'm calling it the largest. Then I'm going ahead to set that number as the total again. Total is going to be equal to the largest that I just took, and my count now is already equal to 1, right? So I'm now doing my check now. Is count equal to 50 here, yes or no? Is the count now greater than 50 here, yes or no? If it's not greater than 50, then that's when I need to stop, right? Is count greater than 50, then I need to stop. If it's not greater than 50, I'm going to be taking another number. Input num. As simple as that. If I input num, I need we want to check if the number is the largest or not. Oh, come on. Alright, it's okay. I input num, then I go ahead and do the check if the number is bigger than what I'm currently calling my largest. So is num bigger than largest here? Is the num that I just took bigger than what I'm currently calling the largest here, yes or no? Right? That's you're supposed to be using that as a rhombus here. If it's yes, then you change the value of the largest. So my largest is now equal to the num that I just took. That's what's going to be happening. But if no now, if it's no, then I'm going to be going to do the very same thing. I'm going to increment the value of my total and my value of my counter. So total is now equal to what was the total that was plus the value of num. Then also count is now going to be equal to count plus 1 to indicate that I have taken another number. Then I check again if my count is now equal to 50. So if it's yes, right, if the value is now equal, if my count is now equal to 50, then you can just draw this in the best way that you can see it, but rather I'm just doing this because I have limited space here. But if my count is now equal to is now greater than 50, then what I'm going to be going ahead to do here is to then calculate the value of my average, right? So my average is now equal to the total that I had minus the largest, because I'm being told here that I'm supposed to be giving the average without the largest. So total minus largest, then I divide now by 49, not by 50. Then I go ahead and output the largest and output the average. So I output two things. Output the largest and output again the average. That's basically how I was supposed to be solving my code. Then I go ahead and output and end. That's basically how my code was supposed to be working here. So you just go ahead and actually just trace it through and see if you have actually mastered it. If you haven't, please just go ahead and give me feedback so that I can go ahead and actually help you on the parts that you need assistance with. Yeah, that's what's up.